Hi everyone, it's me. From mysterious books that are unreadable to devices we don't understand, here are 8 amazing archaeological discoveries that we can't explain. Number 8. The Voynich Manuscript. Imagine finding a book written about 600 years ago, but you can't read it because it's not written in any known language and nobody has ever been able to translate it. This is the strange situation surrounding the Voynich Manuscript, which was purchased by an Italian bookseller in 1912. The book, named after that bookseller, was created in Italy during the 15th century. Written in an unknown script, it features diagrams of plants, astronomical charts, biological illustrations, women bathing, and other images. The text goes from left to right in some pages and from right to left in others, which is unusual. Over the years, many have tried to unravel its secrets, including amateur sleuths and even the FBI, but nobody has succeeded. Theories suggest it may be a hoax or that it's written in a code. Others claim it's a lost language or an unknown cipher. But what makes it truly remarkable is that it's unlike anything else of its time, which makes us question how such a strange book was made. Number 7. Mustang Caves. Located in northern Nepal, the Mustang Caves are a series of over 10,000 man-made caves carved into sheer cliff faces. They sit high up in the mountains, some as much as 45 meters or 147 feet up. The caves range in size from small rooms to chambers large enough to fit 30 people. Most are just big enough for one person to fit in. But why? No one knows. Who made them, why they were made, or how they were made is a total mystery. There's evidence of the caves being used as far back as the 14th century, possibly for meditation, hiding, or religious rituals, but without any historical records, it's impossible to say for sure. Archaeologists also don't know how the builders managed to carve them out of the cliffs without advanced tools. All that we know is that they're definitely man-made, but we don't know how. Number 6. Baghdad Batteries. Imagine digging up an ancient artifact that bears an uncanny resemblance to something we invented just a few centuries ago. That's exactly what happened when these clay jars were unearthed near Baghdad in 1936. Dubbed Baghdad batteries, these clay pots have copper, iron, and asphalt components that look like a container for a simple electric cell battery. Some historians claimed that if the items were placed in an acidic liquid, they would generate a small amount of electricity. Though there's been debate regarding their function, some experts argue that they may have been used as a form of early electricity thousands of years ago. And if true, it would upend everything we know about the history of science. In fact, the idea of electricity existing 2,000 years ago, long before modern science even developed it, is certainly intriguing. However, it's important to approach such claims with healthy skepticism until further evidence comes to light. Only then can we determine whether these artifacts were actually used to harness electrical power or served some other purpose entirely. Number 5. Costa Rican Stone Spheres. Scattered across the Diquis Delta region of Costa Rica, hundreds of perfectly round stone spheres have been found. Weighing several tons each, these stone spheres are so perfectly round that they almost appear man-made. Archaeologists believe that they were moved from their original locations and that there may be more where they originated. But how they were rolled across the landscape remains a mystery. One theory suggests that the stones were moved by rolling them on wooden rollers. Another proposes that people carried them by placing them on a sled-like device. While we don't know how they were moved, what we do know is that the stones weren't made by the indigenous people who lived in the area. Instead, they were crafted by a pre-Columbian society that lived in the region at least 2,000 years ago. But why they were made and what they might have been used for is another story. Some believe they were used as burial markers or to mark territory. Others think they were used in religious ceremonies or to represent the cosmos. Unfortunately, because of their age and the lack of written records from the time period, we may never know for sure. 4. Antikythera Mechanism. Discovered in 1902 off the Greek island of Antikythera, this ancient device was found inside a crumbling chest in a shipwreck. Now known as the Antikythera mechanism, the strange device was covered in thick crust and at first appeared to be a bronze gear. But after cleaning it up, researchers realized it was an incredibly complex system of gears, dials, and pointers. Believed to have been made around 200 BC, it's widely considered to be the world's first analog computer. Its purpose was to track astronomical positions and predict eclipses, but how it managed to do this remained a mystery for decades. Researchers now believe that the device had a complex gear system that allowed it to calculate the position of the Moon and other planets. It's unclear how precise the calculations were, but it must have been remarkably accurate for its time. What makes the Antikythera mechanism so remarkable is that its complexity was unmatched for centuries. It wasn't until the Middle Ages that similar devices began to appear. And now for number 3. But first, I want to give a big shout out to 2 supporters. Thanks so much for watching and supporting the channel. If you are new here, be sure to subscribe and join the family. Number 3. Giant fossilized eggs. Archaeologists have uncovered fossilized dinosaur eggs dating back millions of years. But in 2010, something extraordinary was discovered in the Russian Republic of Chechnya. Several enormous eggs were found that were unlike any previously unearthed. Measuring about 17 inches or 43 centimeters long and 11 inches or 28 centimeters wide, they were too big to have belonged to any known species of dinosaur. At first, scientists assumed that they belonged to a new species of dinosaur. But after studying the eggs, they couldn't find a match for them. It's possible that the eggs could belong to a type of prehistoric bird that lived in the area millions of years ago. Or maybe they could be from an unknown prehistoric creature altogether. We don't know for sure. What we do know is that these giant eggs are a fascinating window into the distant past and may help us learn more about the animals that roamed the Earth before humans. 2. Piri Reis Map. Created by Turkish admiral and cartographer Piri Reis in 1513, the map depicts the eastern Atlantic coast and parts of the southern coast of South America. It includes detailed images of Antarctica's coastline, which should have been impossible because Antarctica wasn't officially discovered until almost a century later. So how did Piri Reis manage to draw the continent's shape so accurately? There are theories that Vikings or other explorers may have reached Antarctica before it was officially recorded by Europeans. But there's no evidence to support this claim. Some believe that Piri Reis got his knowledge from Arabic sources or from maps that depicted Antarctica. But again, there's no concrete proof of either theory. What makes this map so remarkable is that it predates the official discovery of Antarctica by almost 100 years. This raises questions about what other geographical knowledge we've lost to time, and whether there are other maps like this one that detail parts of the world that shouldn't have been known at the time they were created. Number 1. Dorset Culture. Located in northern Canada, the Dorset culture refers to a mysterious civilization that thrived in the Arctic between roughly 200 BC and 500 AD. These people lived in an extremely harsh environment, and yet they managed to develop sophisticated tools and weapons made from materials like chert, obsidian, and copper. They hunted large mammals like caribou and seals and created intricate carvings depicting animals and human figures. But sometime around the year 500, they suddenly vanished. The Dorset culture was likely wiped out by the arrival of the Inuit, a nomadic tribe of people who migrated from Siberia. When archaeologists discovered the Dorset's settlements, they were puzzled by the Inuit ruins sitting atop the abandoned Dorset villages, suggesting a dramatic and rapid population shift. What happened to the Dorset people? Did they flee when the Inuit arrived, or were they wiped out by disease or war? And why did the Inuit take over their territory so quickly? Unfortunately, we may never know the answers to these questions. What we do know is that the Dorset created a rich culture despite living in one of the harshest environments on Earth. They were skilled hunters and craftsmen who developed advanced technology for their time, but their sudden disappearance remains a mystery. Thanks for watching. What are your thoughts on these mysterious discoveries? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and come back soon for more videos like these. See you next time. Bye.